Hi, my name's Tom. My involvement in Heartbeat started about 2 years ago when I had a life-changing medical event. I was exercising before work, about 6 a.m, feeling pretty tired, so I had 2 espresso coffees and then went off to a boot camp. I started feeling really strange during this boot camp, and I managed to drive myself home. I kind of ruled out that it could be my heart because I'd had a full cardiac workup about a year before when I turned 40, so I thought I was having a panic attack or something, but I knew something was like really not right. Made it home, asked my wife just to keep an eye on me because she was about to jump in the shower and I was still feeling really awful. One of the last things I remember that day is feeling my pulse and it just going like spurts of machine gun fire, and that's kind of when I knew something was seriously wrong, and that was one of my last memories because I had a cardiac arrest right after that. My wife saved my life basically. It was in front of my wife and kids. She performed CPR on me, and I was saved by the Balmoral Fire Department that were there in about 3 minutes with a defibrillator. Anyway, so I had 8 days in hospital to get a full workup. They couldn't really determine what had happened to me and why, so they knew that I went into VT, ventricular tachycardia, and then into VF, or cardiac arrest, but they didn't know why. Basically all the tests came back clear, and they just sort of said, we think this sort of freak thing called an R on T phenomenon has happened to you, which is basically where you get a stray heartbeat at precisely the wrong time, which can cause a dangerous heart rhythm. So I kind of accepted that, and then they installed an ICD, a defibrillator, which I still have in my chest now. And then I was discharged and went about my life. And after about 8 weeks after this healed, I was actually encouraged to exercise again, and that turned out to be a complete disaster for me. The first time I did it, I had something called a VT storm. That was the worst day of my life, really. My heart kept going into sort of these dangerous arrhythmias. I was getting shocked repeatedly by my device. 18 times in all I got shocked. Struggling to stay conscious, struggling to breathe. My heart was going around 250 in my chest and feeling like a fish out of water. Said goodbye to my wife. Was basically accepted that was going to be it. And a brilliant ambulance driver showed up and was able to sort of sort me out and get me out of that rhythm, and I managed to beat the Reaper again. So that was 2 years ago. It took me quite a while to recover from that second event. It was extremely traumatic, and I was diagnosed with PTSD after that. And I've worked really, really hard on my mental health, and Heartbeats has been fantastic with that. Fantastic support with the mental aspect of cardiac trauma. I guess what I get out of the relationship with Heartbeats is, age is just a number, really. Like, I'm usually one of the younger people there, but everyone has the same experience with trauma, with worrying about their health anxiety, understanding these procedures, and dealing with the impacts of medication, things like that. I take anti-arrhythmia medication now, which lots of people in Heartbeats take, and we talk about the impact that has on us and the side effects and things like that. I discovered Heartbeats through my exercise physiologist, and that was really brilliant because, it's one of those things you don't understand it until you have to deal with something like that, and it's just, when you lose confidence in your heart, it's just so fundamental. But look, I've been doing great now. It's been over 2 years since I've had a dangerous heart rhythm. Still worry a little bit because they describe my condition as idiopathic. There's no known cause for what happened. I think the other thing that Heartbeats is really great for is you get to talk to people that have had procedures before that you might need in the future. They seem less scary when people have gone through them and they've been fine. You also just get a lot of education. We've spoken to 2 or 3 cardiologists have come to speak to us now. Just having access to these people and being able to talk about your situation in an informal way. I think that the healthcare system's great at dealing with acute problems, but then you get discharged and it's like, have a nice life, and that's where Heartbeats sort of fills the gap and gives you that support.